Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. Somebody's gassy. I am your host, Sam. Alongside me, as always, is the GM, Tarek. How are you tonight?
Technically not beside you when you have someone beside you, but I'm fine. It's the holidays. I'm tired, but I'm here. We're talking about football. I'm good. How about you, buddy?
I am doing fantastic. Joining us today is a special guest, Michelle, my lovely wife. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
How you doing tonight?
Okay.
How you doing?
Now that, I'm sharing a room with somebody who just lightened it up. Doing fine.
Sammy coming upstairs? Anyway, so we are, of course, brought to you by Aardvark Concepts Incorporated, more than just a sign shop. Check them out in Westminster for all of your sign and decal needs. And in Too Deep of Maryland, check out their next show. I believe it's January 18th. They're going to have a great show. Go ahead and check them out. And, of course, we are missing two of our comrades in action. Jessica, feel better. Hopefully next week you'll be able to make it on. And then, of course, Brady.
Who's traveling?
Good luck to you, sir, and to our number one fan, Miss Shingledecker.
Is that what we're going to call her now?
Congratulations, Carol. Congratulations on your retirement. We wish you all the best. So, speaking of wishing people all the best, playoff races are coming down to it. 5 weeks left. Not even that. I think it's 4 weeks left, actually, at this point. And there's a couple of teams that are right on the brink. And I got to ask, Michelle, let's start with you. What do you think the playoff chances of the Seattle Seahawks are?
I think they'll make it to the playoffs. I don't think they're staying there long, though, even though they're on my team.
Okay.
I know sometimes the last couple of years has been a little rough for them.
Gotcha. Poignant and to the point. Tarek, surprise team this year, the Denver Broncos, sitting in that 7 seed right now. What do you think their chances of making the playoffs are?
Yeah. So, and I'll pick that team since it's my other team is a little bit more complicated. So we'll go with the easy answer on this one, since Ravens, who knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So right now, thanks to the game last week, I think it was last week, they are now tied for second place in the AFC West with the Chargers. So the good news is about that is the Broncos should win this week. Hopefully Chargers lose in their second place. So I think they have a good shot of making the wild card and getting in. Past that you got some really good teams. I mean, the Chiefs, while dominating at like 12-1, aren't doing so very well. We see the chinks in the armor, and you got some other teams with like the Bills and stuff. So do I think they're going to make the Super Bowl? Not this year. If they can build off of this and the surprise, I mean, Bo Nix has made all the difference in the world. He can go in the offseason, work on his stuff, as some of these quarterbacks do. They do work on the things they watch their own tape and stuff. If they can do that and get some of the fill in some of that, get some run blockers on the O-line and stuff, I think they can really make a shot at it next year. But I think they'll make it, but I don't think they're going far.
Nice. I like your take on that. Denver Broncos. I mean, very surprising this year, obviously.
Oh, yeah. There's no – so, Sam, how do you feel about you spelled Cowboys wrong, Cardinals?
Well, the Cardinals are a bit of an enigma. Really appreciate you laying it out there for me, Tarek. Really appreciate that.
We're professionals here.
The Cardinals have lost to the Seahawks twice, so they're 2 games behind with 4 games to go. and Seattle has a tiebreaker. So they would need to win out and have Seattle lose 3 out of 4. I don't see that happening. As far as a wild card goes, their path is a little more complicated as well. They currently have the Washington Commanders, who are the number 7 seed at 8 wins right now. Cardinals at 6 wins. Could they catch them? Sure. Washington has seen its share of problems in the past couple weeks, but coming off of that bye, playing a team that they should beat this week, I feel like the Cardinals' chances, just like their quarterback, are little to none. Quite frankly, if they make it in, if they sneak in with their little legs, I'd be highly surprised. Speaking of highly surprised, let's take a look at our standings so far this year. Tarek still keeping the stiff arm on me. Boom. And then, of course, Brady with his continued implosion.
If he could just gets an amazing week in the last couple, like, what do we got? 3 weeks left?
4 weeks. This week and then 3 other weeks.
So they change it every year. I don't know. But yeah, so if he just manages to if he gets over 500 on a week, I'm just gonna give him a cookie. I don't like.
He'll deserve a cookie if he gets over 500 on a week. At this point, he's what they would call in hearts shooting the moon.
Yeah, because he's just. I mean, the fact that he's getting anything at this point is just because he's. What did he say last week? That he's going against the grain on purpose.
He is doing that, yes.
So I'm impressed he's getting any wins.
Yeah. Well, sun shines on a dog's butt every once in a while. Not that Brady's a dog's butt, but his picks are.
All right, noted. Brady is a dog's butt.
Sorry, Carol.
He gave birth to a dog's butt.
I wouldn't go on that far, but all right.
Long hair.
Let's get into our games of the week. And Tarek, who's your number 1 pick for game of the week?
I have the Bills and the Lions. I can read. There's nothing on my hand. So this is, I think this actually is I just usually try to pick a game that's close. I think this might actually be one of the games, if not the game of the week here. You got 2 teams that are just the top, almost top of the conference here. They're both tops of their divisions. The Lions, who they won on Thanksgiving for the first time in years. Many years. I don't remember them. I think they've done it, but it's longer than I remember. Because just when I got into football in the mid 2000s, they were already bottom of the trash heap. So they're doing great. Bills, for the last couple of years, they're constantly flirting with being a top team in the league. So you got Josh Allen throwing it for over 3,000 yards. You got Jared Goff for over 3,200 yards. And this is just the only chink in any of these is who did they lose to? So the Bills have lost to the Rams, I believe it was. Checking.
Bill did recently lose to the Rams, yes.
Yeah, so meanwhile, the Lions are almost undefeated here. They haven't lost a game in weeks, and they're looking really good. So I'm going with the Bills on this one. I think they're the Lions. The Lions is who I'm picking. Yes, I am. Making sure who I pick. I'm going with the Lions. They've looked good. They're continuing to look good. I think they're hitting the stride where they need to right here at the end of the season. This is where you want to pick up, when you want all your pieces fitting together, and I think they're doing that. So, never thought I'd say this, but it looks like they're going to win, and I think if they win, have they won the?
They have a playoff spot only because the Vikings are only a game behind.
Okay, have they won the division yet?
No.
Okay.
They can't this week either. It would take them at least 2 weeks minimum.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Michelle,
Yep.
who do you think is going to win this game right here?
Oh my gosh. It's going to be, like Tarek said, it's going to be a pretty close game. I have to say, money is definitely on the Lions. They've performed much better than the Buffalo Bills this year. And yeah, I think they're playing at home. I assume that's
Yes,
okay.
they are playing at home.
So usually when they're playing at home, like any other team, they go pretty good, outstanding.
You have that home field advantage, huh?
Yes, they do.
Especially with that run game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I look at this game and, quite frankly, we had a plethora of picks for games this week. I look at this game and the Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs have been explosive. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, which is kind of shocking because you don't usually have two good running backs from a team like that. But they managed to make it happen. The Bills, coming off of that big loss last week against the Rams, very unexpected. Came down to the wire, 44-42. Even with Josh Allen scoring 6 touchdowns, which is just insane for a quarterback. Quite frankly, I think that the Lions, with their 12-1 record, actually lose this week to the Buffalo Bills. At home, Buffalo goes in there, keeps their hopes alive for the number 1 seed, and the Lions end up in a tie with the Vikings for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Now, let's get into my game of the week. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the Steelers are playing the Eagles.
It's a Pennsylvania ball off.
It is a Pennsylvania ball off.
Hey.
That's what we're going to call it, the ball off.
At least the PAs don't have to go very far to go see their games.
The pa ball off. Or Pavlov, if you're French. But I look at this game, and the Steelers with Russell Wilson have looked much better than they have in the past. He is actually, that offense has kicked it up a notch with George Pickens and Najee Harris. And quite frankly, they have been a thorn in everybody's side. Eking out some close wins, but they have had some blowouts too. The Eagles, however, lost 2 games early and have been on an 8-game winning streak. So this is going to be a hard game for both of these teams because, quite frankly, they're both hitting on all cylinders. Saquon Barkley, I don't think gets it done this week. I have the Steelers winning this one, and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit because my team's out. I'm kind of rooting for the Ravens at this point to go and make a splash in the playoffs. So,
Want me to go next?
sure.
I'll go next. All right, I'm double checking on my notes here who I picked. I'm pretty sure I picked Pittsburgh as well. You hit all the notes on the head. Pittsburgh is another one of those surprise teams this year. Was not expecting them to do well, especially after they took Russell Wilson from the Broncos. Wilson must have just, his career trajectory took a nosedive in Seattle. He didn't do anything of note in Denver, and then hits the magic note in Pittsburgh for whatever reason. Who would have seen that coming? So even Pittsburgh fans like Dan, who's one of the 2 people that comment on our videos, he didn't see it coming. He wasn't happy about it. But now they're like singing. They're like, yeah, Russell. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. I think they're going to do it. Yeah.
Michelle, who do you think is going to win this one?
I believe I offset both of you and picked the Eagles to win.
Yeah.
The only reason I have is because they're playing at home, which obviously gives them the home advantage. though hopefully for the whole Pennsylvania area, the weather stays very nice, and maybe it might be a very good game between them. And afterwards, they all can go get cheesesteaks.
You think the Philly run game is gonna bog down the Steelers defense?
I think they're going to give them a good run for their money.
Okay, Saquon fan right here. Quite frankly, I look at this. I mean, it's just been so weird this year with these two teams. Just so weird. Nobody would have expected either of these teams to be as good as they are right now.
Nope.
Last but not least, our special guest has a special game of the week. Michelle, what is your game of the week?
The Green Bay Packers versus Seattle Seahawks.
Sunday Night Football.
I have to say, I definitely picked this because, yes, I am a Seattle Seahawks fan. They're also playing at home, though they look like they're definitely going to be slightly of an underdog with the Green Bay Packers. And hopefully they try to continue to do the best by the second half of each playing. I think they will win this game. I hope that they actually want to show up on the offensive side. Defense has done them pretty good, and they are on their, I believe, 6th or 8th winning streak.
Do you believe Smith and Jigba is going to catch a touchdown this week?
We shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see.
I am picking the Packers.
Michelle's coming for it.
I like being a contrarian. Didn't know she was on when I made this pick. I'm not scared.
Yes, you should be scared of the short person.
I'm
Big
not
things
scared.
come in little packages.
So, the only two games the Packers have lost have both been to the Lions. They're the third. They're in the third place. I mean, behind the Lions and the Vikings, who were two of the better teams in this. I don't know if they're going anywhere in the playoffs, but Packers have looked pretty good since getting rid of that man not dude. But yeah, I'm picking the Packers like a pack of pickled peppers
with the cheese. Now I gotta ask. A blast from the past here has joined us. Sammy, who do you think is going to win this game?
I don't think
The Green Bay Packers or Seattle
the
Seahawks?
Green.
What? Whose side are you on?
Green Bay Packers going to beat the Seahawks, huh?
Because it's a 9-4 and an 8-5.
They got the better record.
Hey. Just remember whose house you're in, sir. More likely you picked the Green Bay Packers too.
Now,
Don't pick me. Don't move me, Dad.
I look at this game, and yeah, I think Jackson Smith and Jigba has been an absolute boon for the Seattle Seahawks. Second-year receiver. Jordan Love has struggled at times. He does throw picks, but he also gets touchdowns quite often. More touchdowns than he does picks. He's no Jameis Winston, obviously. Only one person can be Jameis Winston, where he throws 30 touchdowns and 30 picks in the season. The running game is where these two teams really differ. The Green Bay Packers have Aaron Jones, and the Seattle Seahawks right now, if Kenneth Walker is still hurt, which I think he might be.
He's questionable.
They got to rely on Charbonnet, who last week had a great week. Seattle being at home, the 12th man isn't what it used to be, but on Sunday Night Football, I think the 12th man gets it done. Seattle for the win.
I'm surprised.
Why?
Just because.
Okay. Anyway, no logic without reason. Let's take a look at our pop panel quick pick'ems. And we only have a couple of contrarians, and that's just partly because one person is completely contrarian. And then there's me, who thinks that the Cleveland Browns are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, I hope you're right, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I feel like 2 weeks in a row they got real close to winning, and I think Kansas City is susceptible to a team that can do that.
I think so, but I think the Browns have showed us their limitations.
Yeah. What do you think of Jameis Winston?
I actually honestly don't even know who that is.
She has no idea who that is, but that's okay. She picked San Francisco. She thinks San Francisco is going to bounce back this week, get themselves back into the playoff race. All right, let's take a look. Mr. DeFreeze, the only one of two people to pick the Dallas Cowboys, and I know why she picked the Cowboys. But why did you pick the Cowboys?
It's one of the few games I think they can actually win. And I'm trying to find a game that I can get an edge different so I can catch up to Jess. So I think it's one of the few games that I can try to edge that out.
Okay. Tarek over there edging. And then, of course, also I'm one of the only people to pick the Jaguars, and I feel like the Jets, their season is done. They just got eliminated from the playoffs. The Jaguars in their division technically have a shot, and I feel like it's one of those games where they just surprise people and win.
Is what's his name still tasting colors?
I believe he should be back next week. Not 100% on that, though. Anyway, Bill Belichick is going to the Targets, just in case anybody was wondering.
All right. I saw that before I started.
Breaking news! Not really, because you won't see this till Thursday.
Breaking news.
Speaking of breaking news, only one person picked the Colts.
2 people picked the Colts.
I don't count Brady.
Oh.
Breaking
I was going to say, who aren't you counting? Are you not counting Michelle or are you not counting Brady?
I don't count Brady because he's specifically picking the team that is supposed to lose.
Can I do the breaking news?
No, there is no breaking news.
What breaking news do you have, mister?
Breaking news. There was a player for the Greens
Green Bay Packers.
that had read by C.
Okay.
He's watching the video.
Breaking news on the hamster. Anyway, and I am one of the only people to pick Pittsburgh. Tarek, you picked the Eagles.
I changed my pick.
He changed his pick. I can't change it right now, but, that's okay.
Do it. Do it.
Sorry. I slipped. Anyway. Surprisingly, you and Jessica picked Green Bay, which means Green Bay is going to win. So, there is that. Although you look at a lot of these games, Tampa Bay and Chargers, that's going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
So, we couldn't have gone wrong with a couple of these games.
Nope. Can I just say,
Yes.
on a tangential note, to have 2 teams in LA whose colors are yellow and blue is slightly confusing. I was watching the game on Sunday, and we didn't know who was playing, and I thought it was the Chargers. It turns out to be the Rams.
Well, they do it because that's the city colors.
That's stupid.
Another breaking news. There is another player for the Seahawks that has knocked it down by another player.
He was
from
knocked
a
down
different team.
by another player. These players they're setting them up and knocking them down.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see
Don't
you guys
forget to like
next
and
week.
subscribe.
That's rude. We
Yeah,
don't cut
please don't.
people off.
Please click like, click subscribe, comment down below what teams you think are going to make it, what your favorite teams are going to do this year, whether or not they're going to make the playoffs. I'd like to see your answers. Click subscribe to see our next video, and we will see you guys next week. I'm Tarek.
Michelle.
Who are you?
Sam.
And I'm Sam. You have a great football week.
All right.